In the aftermath of World War II, Britain faced the monumental challenge of rebuilding not just its cities, but its way of life. Everyday mobility was no longer a luxury. It was essential for getting the nation back on its feet. What the people needed was a car that was reliable, affordable, and simple. A vehicle for everyone. This vision gave birth to the morrisminor, a car that arrived in 1948 and quickly became a symbol of hope and progress. If you enjoy stories like this, a quick like and subscribe would mean the world. Thanks for being part of the journey. Designed by Alec Isagonis, the man who would later bring us the iconic Mini, the morrisminor wasn't just a car. It was a statement. Its practicality, charm, and durability set it apart in a market desperate for innovation. But this journey began long before its debut. Back in 1941, as the world was deep in conflict, Isagonis and his team, engineers William Jack Daniels and Reginald Reg Job, dared to think ahead. Their mission? To design a car that could balance simplicity with style, creating something timeless and attainable for all. So, the first morrisminor, let me tell you, this little car wasn't about showing off. It had a tiny 918 cubic centimeter engine, borrowed from the Morris 8, putting out just 27.5 horsepower. Not exactly mind-blowing, right? It topped out at 64 miles per hour, and getting to 60? You'd need almost a full minute. But here's the thing. It didn't need to be fast. This car had something far more important. Smart engineering. With rack and pinion steering and independent front suspension, the Minor drove like a dream. It was nimble, easy to handle, and honestly, fun. Buyers could pick a 2-door, 4-door, or even a convertible version by 1950. It gave people options, which wasn't that common back then. By 1953, they'd built around 250,000 of them. And just when you'd think that was the end of the story, it gets better. In 1952, Morris joined forces with Austin to create the British Motor Corporation. This meant big upgrades for the Minor, like swapping out the old engine for Austin's A-Series. Sure, it had a smaller 803 cubic centimeter displacement, but it was smoother, more refined, and just better all around. Then came 1953. Here's where things get exciting. They introduced the Traveler, and honestly, it stole the show. You couldn't miss it. The ashwood frame gave it this super unique half-timbered look. And it was practical too, with rear doors and enough room for a family of 4 and all their stuff. It became the car for weekend trips, school runs, and everything in between. But wait, there's more. That same year, they rolled out the pickup and quarter-ton van versions. These were absolute workhorses, used by everyone from postal workers to small business owners. Whether it was delivering mail or helping out a local shop, these vehicles were everywhere, making themselves indispensable across Britain. By the time the Series 2 wrapped up production in 1956, almost 270,000 had been built. This wasn't just a car anymore. It was part of everyday life, woven into the fabric of Britain. By 1956, the morrisminor was ready to step up its game. Enter the Series 3, also known as the Minor 1000. Why the new name? Because it now came with an upgraded 948 cubic centimeter A-Series engine, boosting its performance in all the right ways. Top speed jumped to 75 miles per hour, and that sluggish 0 to 60 miles per hour time was trimmed from 53 seconds to just over 31. It was perfect timing, too. Motorways were becoming a thing, and the Minor was ready to take on the challenge. As the 1950s gave way to the swinging 60s, the Minor was everywhere. Production hit a staggering 100,000 cars per year. And in December 1960, something incredible happened. The 1 millionth morrisminor rolled off the line, making it the first British car to hit that milestone. Think about it. 1 million cars in less than 13 years. That's legendary. Of course, the miner didn't just sit still. In 1961, those quirky semaphore-style indicators were swapped for more modern flashing bulbs. A year later, the engine got another upgrade, this time to a 1.1-liter block producing 48 horsepower. But beyond these tweaks, the car stayed remarkably true to its original design. The shape, the interior, even the overall feel, it was all about evolution, not revolution. By the mid-1960s, though, the writing was on the wall. The iconic Mini was now outselling the Miner, and it was clear the end was near. The convertible was the first to go, dropped in 1969. A year later, the saloon followed suit. The Traveler and commercial models held out the longest, but even they bowed out by April 1971. In total, over 1.6 million Morris Minors were built between 1948 and 1971. That's 1.6 million cars, each one with its own story, its own place in history. And here's the beautiful part. Many of them are still on the road today, turning heads and reminding us of a time when simplicity and charm ruled the streets. Sure, legends like the Mini, the Jaguar E-Type, the Ford Escort, and even the McLaren F1 might argue they're Britain's greatest motoring icons. But the Morris Minor? It absolutely deserves a spot in that conversation. What makes it so special? Its story began in the darkest days of World War II, yet it emerged as a symbol of hope and progress. This little car played a massive role in bringing mobility to the masses and became a cornerstone of Britain's post-war automotive revival. Even today, it's a piece of history. It stands as an enduring icon of British motoring, loved for its simplicity, timeless charm, and that unmistakable spirit of resilience. Enthusiasts and collectors around the world keep its legacy alive, treasuring it not just as a machine, but as a reminder of a time when cars truly brought people together.